Hey, what's up, guys? Editing Waffle Dog here real quick. Just wanted to go ahead and give a quick shout out to the guy I collabed this video with, TheWO Wink. He's in my alliance. He's a great player, great content creator just starting out here. I just want to make sure to shout him out at the start of this video because he is 50% of the whole thing. So yeah, that would be a great disservice of me not to do that. And anyways, on to the video. Hope y'all enjoy. What's up, guys? Waffle Dog here, coming at you with a new video featuring one of my alliance mates, The Wink. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing this morning?
I am great. I'm fantastic.
Well,
just got some
afternoon,
coffee.
actually.
Yeah, it's a morning for me as a good old third shifter over here. You know, just a good old night owl, having fun, playing games. So let's get right into it. We're doing a list of the most underrated T4's in Marvel Strike Force, and I think some are going to surprise you and some are going to make complete sense. So let's start off with you, Wink. What's your first on this list of 10 for you?
My number 10 is the Stature ult.
Ooh, Stature ult. Interesting.
And my reasoning is because if you're running her in the full group outside of Ant-Man's ultimate, it literally keeps everything on a 3-turn cooldown.
That's true. You get 2 ability energy for self and all Pimtech allies, and only 26% of users are currently using this ability, so it is certainly an underrated ability for sure.
I actually thought about having it higher up, but the problem is Pimtech isn't that dominating of a team outside of for Dark Dimension.
Yep.
And that one Greek raid. So
precisely.
Otherwise it would have been higher.
Yeah, she is a very niche character. I myself brought her all the way up to G14 thinking she was going to be the next great thing with that whole team. And, you know, all the other good characters that are actually good are what's good in Dark Dimension, not Pim. Aside from Ghost. Ghost is...
Oh, definitely Ghost. I actually stopped at gear 12 with her, so I got lucky.
Oh, yeah, you got very lucky. My Doc Ock trying to get into Legendary is kind of... hampered by that a tiny bit. Speaking of which, that is my number 10 is the Doc Basic and Ult.
Nice segue.
Yeah, it was a good segue, wasn't it? Yeah. Funnily enough, only 38% of people are using this ultimate upgrade. It only gives a 60% damage to all enemies on the ult, and 18% of people are using the Tentacle Slam, which is a 60% damage to primary target. But what's really special about these is not the abilities on Doc, it's actually the abilities on the summon, and as most of y'all know, that's Shocker most of the time. And what really...
It's like a truck.
Yep, it makes him hit like a truck, especially the basic, which I haven't done yet, and the ult, because the ult will make it repeat a third time on a new random secondary target and a new primary, as the new primary, so you're just getting more coverage with that AoE. Go ahead.
I'm surprised that's not more highly used than that.
Oh, I think Doc is one of those characters you can absolutely max out on T4's.
Same. I just upgraded him to 6 red myself.
He's a fantastic character still, and one of those that I think whenever we make our underrated character lists belongs right on the top because he is insane still.
Yes.
Anyways, the basic for Shocker, when you T4 that, will also give you 60% more piercing. It's not huge because you're probably not getting that many basics off with Shocker. You're just specialing and ulting before he dies, but yeah, there's that.
But if it does get to it, it might help a lot.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of extra damage you can eke out just by doing these 2 T4s. So, Wink, what's your next on your list here?
Now, this is one I actually haven't done, but the reason why I have it is because of one time, or a couple different times, when I cloned him with Sinister. Star-Lord Special.
Star-Lord Special, interesting.
If you get... Now, it's only a 50% chance to add that third blind, but if it lands... Oh, man. The problem is his focus is so low that it doesn't stick very often. Even if it does hit it, it gets resisted a lot because of no power creep.
It's true.
But Star-Lord Special, I have a 6 red Star-Lord, and gets resisted all the time. But if it lands, it's devastating. I actually think it's like Star-Lord is one of the best clones you can use with Sinister, because if he happens to land next to Sinister, he can feed him energy back to get a clone quicker.
It's a great point. And yeah, I actually also have a 6 red Star-Lord, but kind of got that after the fact.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been so long since Star-Lord's been in the meta. I wouldn't recommend this anymore, but it is underrated to me.
Certainly is. Only 34% of users on MSF.GG are running that upgrade. Certainly an RNG-based one, but a nice one nonetheless. All right. So moving on to my number 9, sticking in the cosmic characters, but moving to a more recent, more meta choice is the Longshot Ultimate. Only 15% of the users on MSF.gg are doing this, which I think is kind of crazy. Not only does it have, it's really a good ability. It has a 50% extra crit chance. The damage is increased by the amount equal to this character's total crit chance, and it can't be blocked. And the T4 upgrade is 150% extra damage to the primary target. So that's just a huge damage bonus.
Nuke.
Yep.
That's probably one of the biggest increases of a single target damage move in the game.
And funnily enough, there's also even more of a damage increase on the special, which is equally underused because of those bleed stacks, also getting more damage.
I have all but Longshot's basic done.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't have the T4's right now to do it.
Yeah, I hear that. I've been dumping all my T4's into Shadowlands right now, so I don't have any on Longshot except for the passive, sadly. But definitely worthwhile. Only 15% of users, very underutilized kit. These guys, this X Factor team, especially if they get an amazing 5th, are going to dominate the war offense meta, much like Shadowland are right now.
Yes.
All right, so what's your number 9 pick for underrated T4s here?
Number 8.
Oh, yep, my bad.
X23 basic.
Ooh, yeah, this is a great one. This is one I neglected and wish I hadn't because it is amazing. Go ahead with it.
That the ability to add... It's not the damage. Not that her damage is bad.
Even though it is 50% piercing, which is kind of nice. It's
a
big.
Nice hit. But the fact that you will always gain the evade, if like in a 1v1, unless the character has an unavoidable ability, you're gonna win because just by basicing with it because they won't be able to hit you.
Exactly.
And once they drop, she speeds up, and then you could use like her special again or her ult again, and then you'll still have that extra evade. It's very useful. Not saying a necessary one, but if you're looking to spend a T4, I think that's a very well-earned one.
All great points. This is one of the other underrated characters, I would say, and especially for RTA, for those of us that are grinding out that RTA right now, it's pretty horrible. This is one of the better characters in RTA. I don't see a lot anymore, but this upgrade makes her a deadly duelist in that game mode particularly.
Runner with X Factor.
That's what I've been doing. I've been running her with X Factor, Yo-Yo, and Surfer, and they just they go off. Yeah, they go off. Yeah. Anyways, speaking of specials and other things, let's have a look at my number 8, the Electro special. This is one we actually discussed a little bit beforehand when we were just talking about what we're going to list for this video. Only 15% of users using this one as well. The thing that's so scary about this is it bonus attacks 150% damage per positive effect on the target. When you do this T4 upgrade, it goes up from 100 to 150%. So really, if you're hitting like a Colossus or Cull or something really big with a ton of positive effects, it's adding on like 200 to 500% bonus damage at a minimum.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, it is big.
Honestly, I only think that one's not used enough because of the fact that outside of Dr. Octopus, a lot of people didn't feel that team was great. I'm not saying it's bad because Electro is definitely probably the second best character in it, but a lot of people probably didn't do it because of that. If I had to guess,
yeah,
but I'm surprised it's not a little higher than 15. I mean, I'm not saying it had to be 50, but I'm surprised it's that low.
Well, her passive and ult are at 40 and 42% respectively. So, as a huge Electro fan since I was a kid, he was the first supervillain I really got into in the old comics and stuff. Well, now it's her, but that's cool too. I really wanted to dump everything I could in. It didn't seem worth it to just do the basic for an extra 40% damage, but everything else is just amazing. And really another underrated character. I think that core of Doc, Swarm, and Electro is quite nice.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're definitely very, very good.
All right, so let's move on to that number 7. What you got, Wink?
I'm gonna go with the Thing special.
Ooh, another heavy hitter.
This one doesn't have the highest amount of damage increase, but it adds an extra attack. So you're hitting with this ability, you're going to hit for 280 damage 3 times. And Thing has crazy base damage. The only reason I would suggest not doing this is because he's very slow.
Yep. There are 2 reasons not to do this, but there are 5 reasons to do it, and that's well, 3 reasons to do it, and that's the fact that you're going to hit so much harder 3 times in a row. Like, this is really the deletion ability that he has, and sometimes with where I have it, it's turn 1, so you can just nuke someone right off the bat. Especially if you're using F4 on offense, I would imagine this is a great upgrade because it's guaranteeing you that triple tap.
I really, like, I'll be honest, it's one of those I haven't done yet, but every time I use my Fantastic Four for something that I actually play, let it be for RTA, because they were one of the things you needed for the objectives, and every time I'd hit with it, I'm like, man, I really got to do that T4, and I still haven't gotten around to do it because there are other priorities, because he's not really, because of his speed, he's not really usable in every game mode.
I hear that. I've got a couple on my list as well that I haven't done. We're going to get to those here in a minute. But transitioning to another special ability at my number 7 is one of my favorite characters in this game, criminally underrated, has a TV show on Disney Plus now, Falcon and his Red Wing special ability. I think you just did this recently, didn't you, Wink?
I just did. It's on my list a little higher up.
It is so underrated. Like, some abilities, like another one that we're going to talk about later that's a 5% speed bar increase, they can just make the difference between a kill and 3 ults before another character moves, or just your whole team getting wiped, and this is one of those examples. And as we see Falcon coming back into the meta too, to work with Doom Arena offense teams, I think this is going to become even more useful and needed, and only 16% of users are doing this right now, so it is very underrated.
I can tell you this from somebody that uses Dr. Doom in the tech lanes of the Doom raid.
Mm-hmm.
When you use this move, it helps Doom get back to using his ult or his special so much quicker. It is ridiculous. Even if it's just that 5%, it like the amount of times extra, and I know that this was just going to be a point that I brought up when it comes to mind, but now I guess I won't have to. He just helps severely with that turn meter by getting that extra 5% to getting him to just go that little bit faster. Like the last time we ran Doom, I actually didn't have the T4'd, and I literally was on the boss node and finished it with like 20 seconds left. Now it'll probably be 35 seconds left, which is a big difference when you're starting to run out of time.
That is a huge difference, guys. We're in the middle of figuring out our Doom raids in our alliance, and every little bit that you can get out of every team helps, whether it's turning on low graphics mode when you're doing the Longshot, double Longshot strat on the mutant boss, or what he just said with getting this Falcon T4, and like every little thing you can do to optimize helps. We're moving on to number 6 now. Wink, what do you got for number 6?
Mordo special.
Ooh, this is a great one.
That guaranteed stun.
Yes, this is fantastic. And we have some people in our alliance who have brought him up to G15, I believe, don't we?
Yeah, I haven't done it. Mine's still sitting at 13, I believe. I'd actually have to look.
Hey, that's better than me. I'm a lowly 10 right now. I don't use Supernatural much. I don't know if you noticed, but
I actually use Supernatural with Hela to take out Avengers.
Oh, yep. It's a great counter. Hella natural.
Mine's gear 12.
Nice.
With the T4 and the special and his passive.
Yep, always applying that stun to your primary makes a huge difference. It makes that the turn 1 ability.
I always hit Thor with it, and it's followed quickly up by Scarlet Witch's ultimate that extends it, and then having that extra blinds and the slows. Honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that I took Hela into Dark Dimension 4, I would have used Mordo.
Yep.
Because he's a value at 3 stars. He's just not and he can be used in the Doom raids if you don't have Doom, because he's got that control that you're going to need.
It's very true.
Especially if you're using him with Loki for the extra focus.
Yep. That special, a very good turn 1 ability, one of the best to counter the Wave 1 Avengers, and like you said, Hella Natural really wrecks them.
It just sinks when you hit blind on Hawkeye, because he hits you anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, Hawkeye. Let's not talk about Hawkeye. Anyways, on to my number 6. One of my new favorite characters in this game that I'm currently building up. Ooh, where is she? There she is. White Tiger, the ult and the basic. These are the only ones I haven't done, but I'm saying they're underrated because I do plan to fully T4 this character. 8% of players are running the basic T4, and what that does is it applies defense down to 2 turns, for 2 turns instead of just 1, and gives you 50% extra damage. So it's kind of like putting a T4 on the symbiote Spider-Man basic. And then the ultimate...
that's helpful.
It is very helpful. The ultimate will heal you for 50% of this character's max health and clear all negative effects instead of just clearing 3, and then give you 140% bonus damage to the primary target, which is a total of 600%. So it's kind of like that Longshot upgrade almost, as well as giving you full negative effect clear. So sometimes I'm in a situation in War Attack where I might not clear like an offense down or something, and that kind of stops me from nuking with my ultimate. But if or when, it's more of a when than an if I do this, it's going to nuke.
I actually skipped Shadowlands to go to X Factor, but when I'm done with X Factor, I'm going back to Shadowlands.
Yep, a lot of people are having to make that decision between those two teams right now. X Factor is not as T4 heavy as Shadowland, and they're like a bit more flexible. So you're kind of making that decision between a T4 heavy war offense nuclear Star Bomba or just a more flexible war offense team.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's. Did you already do your number 6? I'm losing track of where.
Yeah, my 6 was Mordo.
All right, so going to number 5 here. What you got?
I'm glad we both have one where we did 2 from one character, because this is my 2 for 1. Bishop Special and Basic.
All right, my guy right here.
Just did Bishop's Basic because of it. It's not because of what his basic actually does. It's because it makes his counter higher.
Yep, exactly.
And his special, like mine, I only have a 5 red bishop. I don't 5 red, 5 yellow bishop. Gear 15, but only 5 red, 5 yellow. And his special, when he hits, unavoidable, hits for like 240,000.
Yep, and you're always gaining offense up, and you're always critting.
Yeah.
So this is an absolutely amazing ability. I know I spent my gold promo credits to get him up to 6 red because I think this is one of the most amazing characters, and having them as a raid team is invaluable.
Huge. He's on my list to take up to 6 red, but I have to get 6 yellow first.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I was lucky enough.
Once I do, that's definitely going to be a thing.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, he is an amazing character, and I think we might see that basic popping up again at the very tippy top of my list. But just an amazing character, you all. I know I myself wailed kind of hard for this character. He is so good, and I love Bishop. He's my avatar for a reason.
One with Jubilee and Beast.
Yep, that trio in RTA with Surfer.
One of the best.
Ooh, man. Whew, they are so good. So moving right on to another basic attack that I've done, and this was my king of DD4 Global for my run, Mr. Sinister basic. The only reason I did this was because you always gain an assist from a random Marauder ally, and I also took Sabretooth into my global run. Yep, so you're automatically getting double taps. Helps. Yeah, it was nice.
I don't have Sinister's basic T4, but I thought about doing it just for Dark Dimension. But then by the time I got the amount spent up, I had to use it for something else because I was on my last node first run.
Yep. I was definitely struggling on that last global node. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this last city node now that I'm there and dead already twice. But, man.
That last wave sucks.
Yeah, that last global node wasn't easy either, though.
No, that was probably the second most difficult besides the one you're on right now.
I can tell you myself, I brought Zemo, Sinister, Sabretooth, and Ghost, and Zemo did nothing for me. And I didn't have him at 7 stars either, so that could have impacted it. But
neither did I. I had him at 6 with 5 red. But Zemo did decent for me because of that speedy ability block, which was, in my opinion, one of the most useful moves to start off. And then you have the free buff clear twice. And to me, it helped. But yeah, he was always, almost every match was time I logged in for Dark Dimension was almost always the first one to die. Yep.
Any reset where I could keep him alive, I kind of ran with, because if he could get a second ult off, it would be just great. But yeah, I did that. I also did the Sabretooth basic alongside the Sinister basic, just so they would hit harder. Yep. And that's what got me through it.
Are you still using Sabretooth on war defense with Sinister?
Yeah, I also, I'll just go ahead and show everyone that's watching real quick. I have a really big Sabretooth, 140k with 6 red, so he stays there on my defense. I'm probably not going to be moving him off whenever Doom comes. I'll probably just keep that defense as is and put
to be honest with you,
Doom somewhere else.
Because of my Gear 15 Sabretooth also. Now, mine's not as big as yours because I only have 5 red. I actually decided to put Doom with a different team because I can use a Gear 15 character still that way.
Yep. We're having a lot of people do that. I feel like Marauders sometimes gets us wins even against Black Orders if they're big enough.
Yes, it does.
And I think the blue ISO is really going to help that too.
In our current war, I lost to lost to them with my Black Order today, actually.
Yep. Yeah, they're not to be trifled with, this team. They're still good. I hear a lot of people saying they're falling off, but we're up here in Plat 2.
It is falling off, but it's still the best pre-made war defense they have.
Yes, that's the perfect way to put it. I couldn't have put it any better myself. Speaking of saying things perfectly, how about we move on to this number 4? What do you got, Wink?
My number 4 is Captain America's passive.
Ooh, good old
If you
Cap.
run him in a full Avengers team, he's got over a 100% block chance.
That is a lot of damage reduction for those of you all that don't know listening at home. That is
Plus, he's
ridiculous.
always got defense up because of his basic and his taunt. The only way that move would be any better is if they actually gave eventually a healer the Avengers tag.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they ever give a support character or a controller that can heal or anybody that can heal, Captain America is going to be absolutely disgusting with that block chance.
Well, I know with the not Shadowland, I'm sorry, worst War Attack team, the Skeletal rework incoming, Black Widow is going to be transitioning that team. So maybe if we see Kestrel or some other new tech or other character with an Avengers tag come in as a healer, she can fill in that slot, because this T4 is amazing. 10% block amount is great for more just general damage reduction. Getting additional max 20% health yourself and for your allies on the team that are Wave 1, man, great T4. Can't be ranted and raved about enough.
I actually had this T4 done before his rework.
Oh, wow. You're a true Cap fan over here.
Well, my first 6 Red Star pull was Captain America, and I used Captain America in Dark Dimension 2.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that makes sense.
Ultron.
Nice.
So, I actually, after the rework, fully T4'd my 6 red cap.
Awesome. And those are some pretty good abilities overall. Getting more ability energy from your special, getting more speed bar and damage from your ult. Like, he's got really good abilities. You always get defense up when you T4 the basic. He's truly a great character that's just kind of sinking back into the shadows a little bit because everyone has a Wave 1 counter in one way or another now.
Yeah, it's not what it used to be, but it's still the Wave 1 Avengers are probably the best starting team in the game.
Yep, and
you get them all very early.
Really one of the best war defense teams. I was watching a Flosserver video earlier today, and he was saying how some people are more scared of the big Wave 1s that are 800k than they are the big Emmas that are 900k, and I totally see where he's coming from with that.
Yeah, they're really good. And I think, honestly, part of it is because of the T4 I just recommended with Cap's passive.
You're really eating a ton of damage. Yeah.
And if you could time it off right, where him and Hulk are taunting at the same time on defense, hitting a Red Star Hulk, a good Red Star Hulk with defense up with his taunt, it sucks.
It's a nightmare. We had a couple losses, I think, last war to that. And, Hulk is not to be trifled with as well.
Yep. All right, what do you got for 4?
Yeah, keeping it into the vein of war, I've got at number 4 the Daredevil Special, which is actually the next upgrade I'm going to be doing myself for the Shadowland team. Only about 20% of users are doing it, and what this does is it adds a little bit extra damage, only 20%, chains to an additional target. Instead of only chaining to 1 to 2, it'll always chain to 2. And the real thing that makes this good is that it applies 2 counter to all Shadowland allies. So that's pretty huge for attacking any team with a lot of AoE that's going to be hitting you, because basically...
It also does the defenders too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it already does that without the T4.
Oh, it already does it, okay.
But this T4 is...
Not that anybody's going to run Daredevil into defenders anymore.
Yeah, no, Daredevil is solidly a Shadowlands character now, and I'm really looking forward to that costume coming out. They previewed, I don't know, it looks pretty sick to me.
Yeah, that looks pretty sick.
Shadowlands Daredevil looking nice.
I'm looking forward to the costumes part too.
Yep. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing this.
I think the actually worth it for just always chaining to that other person too, because that is always going to help.
Always does.
That extra damage, that 200% damage to an extra target, 200 extra damage on the field.
There's
one move, so
there's a ton of extra damage.
Just a bonus.
The counter, you got to think about this too. If you have the T4 and Night Nurse and White Tiger basic, every counter from them is going to be flipping positive effects and applying defense down for 2 turns. So there's really a ton of utility that comes out of just this ability that people don't think about enough, I think. But
Yeah, definitely.
Daredevil special. So we're getting into the top 3 now. These are like the ones that we consider to be very, very good. What's your number 3, Wink?
Now, my number 3 is not so much on this character's team, because another character kind of does it too. But if you're actually in the Doom raids, this is a legitimate top T4 in the game. Proxima's special.
Mm-hmm. Very, very
Adding
true.
2 turns of offense down to those hard-hitting characters may be the difference between you finishing one of the nodes, or at least having all of your characters still alive, to them being all dead and having to use revives.
Yep, this is a really great T4.
Now, this T4 is not as useful for Black Order, because Ebony Maw does the same thing with his special.
Mm-hmm. It's more repetitive
and that's
there.
First turn. Yeah.
Yep.
But I had Proxima for Dark Dimension, and this was amazing to be able to stick offense down on 4 people for 2 turns.
Yep.
Massive.
I couldn't agree more. As someone that just finished Cosmic not too long ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, this this character is great in Cosmic, and that offense down for 2 turns, like Wink said, is crucial to staying alive sometimes, especially in that last Cosmic node, which can get a little tough at times with the Human Torches and Taskmasters and things of the sort.
You got to be careful of what landed on Torch, though, because then it flips the offense
Yep.
up.
You got to be... yeah, I made that mistake a few times. I attacked that node about 7 times before I finished it. But, yeah, Cosmic, way easier with Silver Surf than without, so that's going to be fun next time around. Speaking of easy, this was one of my easiest upgrades to make at the time, because I did this upgrade right at the start of RTA. For my number 3, it's the Zemo Ultimate. I think everyone pretty much that I know of does the passive, and some people do the basic. About 27% of users here, or not the basic, I'm sorry, the special.
The special?
The special's great because you get all that extra damage, especially to minions.
It wipes minions even in the Doom raid.
Mm-hmm. He is the leader of minions. He hates all minions, but I really like that ultimate because you're getting extra damage on primary and secondary targets, and you're rebounding 1 more time. Instead of 3, you're going to 4, and that's applying slow for 2 turns to each of those people you hit. So if you get the right RNG, you can apply slow to 5 people for 2 turns, and that is just great. On top of all the damage he already does.
That's massive.
Yep, and I have him as Raider too, so any kind of AoE attack, it's good to bolster that amount of AoE you're doing and damage. So yeah, Zemo Ultimate. This is one of my favorite characters in the game as well. Got him up to 7 stars recently, and I don't regret that at all, even though only 15% of users did it.
I'm only like 45 shards away from getting him maxed out myself.
He is
amazing. But yeah, that's definitely it. I didn't realize, to be honest with you, that it always chained to a 4th. I thought it just stopped at 3, so that's going to be one on my list now.
Yeah, the notable thing about it is sometimes you can rebound back, so you're not always going to be applying that slow to 5 different targets.
You're just hitting them. Yeah, but you're just hitting it in just in case it was resisted that slow. You have a second chance to hit them.
Oh yeah, and a lot of times I kill people with this. Yeah, a lot of times people die to this, especially in the beta raids we're doing right now, on 4.3. So, yeah, No regrets there. No regrets there. What do you got at your runner-up and second place, Wink?
Now, this is where I said we were going to be talking about it later, my Falcon special.
Mm-hmm.
Anything in a turn-based game that can increase how fast your characters are going for whatever, even a minimal amount, like 5%, is huge.
Precisely.
And that's all, we already talked about Falcon during yours, so we can go right to your number 2.
Yeah, but I think it should just be noted that the fact that we both put this down and the fact that he is becoming more meta with Doom becoming the new force in the meta.
Like Arena now too.
Yeah. On Arena, he's great, guys. I think this needs to be overstated, honestly, how good this is because of how much Falcon is making a resurgence. But yeah.
Definitely.
All right, so let's move right along then to my number 2. I've got Kitty Pryde with her basic and her special, actually. Let's take a look here, see if the numbers have changed too much. A little bit, yeah. More people are doing the basic now. It's up to 34%. I still think it should be higher because you're always clearing 2 positive effects instead of just 1. And that's really what you want because that's going to happen on every single Kitty assist as well as Kitty basic that you do yourself. And then the special, only 12% of users are doing it, but it's pretty good.
Kitty is actually on my list to do, but other characters are coming out, and I just figured I would do them.
Yeah, Kitty's one of those characters you can definitely put a lot of T4s in, but you definitely don't need to at the same time. Especially this special. This special is just kind of here as a note.
But not mandatory.
Yeah, because when you do T4 the special, you're filling the speed bar by 10% if any enemy has taunt. That's pretty specific, but in almost all raids there's some taunter, so
especially
it's
if
nice.
Drax drops.
Yep, especially
or
if
now
Drax.
Red Guardian.
Oh man, I don't want to talk about those Doom raids. Got a little flashback there.
Difficult.
Yep. So, anyways, we're at the top here. What's your number one?
My number one is the Minerva passive.
Yes, it is.
I do not understand how that people can't like this move. Now, for Dark Dimension 4, I ran Minerva with Hela, and it basically made the difference of getting through. Like, I know people in our alliance that had 30 plus hits on some of the cosmic nodes. None of them took me more than 6.
Yep.
Because of that move, because Minerva was almost to the point where it's literally just shy of basically almost similar to giving ability energy. That's how quick she moves because of that Greg.
It really is.
Especially if you can come back and get more than one. And if you use her, like right now, I'm not in Blitz or anything like that, but in RTA, I run Minerva with Dr. Doom. When he uses his special and blows up all his Doom bots, Minerva goes 3 times 2.
Yeah, that's insane. I didn't even think about that combo. Whoa. You just opened my eyes to something completely insane.
Yeah, like it's just disgusting. You run her, it's not really worth it if you don't have anybody that has a summon.
Yeah.
But if you can find a way to put her with, like, she's good with Ronin. She's good with Doom. Ultron. Hela's probably is
multiple man.
Oh God, don't even get me started on multiple.
She's great on that X Factor team.
Any team where there is a summoned character, that just makes the healing output so much more.
Yeah,
and I remember there used to be a set of podcasters that I talked to about this, and they're like, "Well, I guess if you're running her with Hela." No, to me, it's any minion. Anybody that has a summoned character mechanic, Minerva ends up being, instead of a 90 out of 100, she's a 99 out of 100 as a healer because of her speed.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to make sure you get that turn in time to revive if someone goes down in the meantime. And if everyone gets low, you're going to get that ult off quicker. And really, that's the difference between life or death, especially in those cosmic nodes, like you said. I know myself, I did die quite a bit on that 3rd node. And I think if I had done this upgrade, which only 25% of people done, I would have done it a lot easier. But yeah, those are great points, and honestly, I can completely agree with you. This is one of the most underrated T4s in the game.
To me, it is I mean, not saying that either of our lists are wrong or anything, but to me, it is the number one.
No, guys.
And I don't understand why more people don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. And don't...
even running her with Doc Ock.
Yep.
For the Doom raid. That's one extra character that you know is going to die, and you have an extra quarter turn just in the bag to getting to your next turn.
Yeah, exactly. And, yeah, none of this is fact, anyone that's watching this video, so don't go flaming in the comments saying that we're wrong. Yeah, this is all our opinions. Should have said that at the start of the video, but you know what? We're doing it now. Because this is really where it wraps up. My number one is similar to one that you already did. It's the Bishop Basic for all the reasons we stated previously. You know, those counters doing more damage. That another thing that I didn't mention before was the assists or triple taps doing more damage too. So really, you just can't go wrong with anything in Bishop, especially if you have good red stars. He's an amazing character.
I did all 4 of his.
He's great.
And honestly, you could argue the basic over the special because of his counter and assist. Because we didn't even mention the fact that if you run him with Jubilee, he does assist.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's a lot of extra damage.
Yeah, you're getting so much extra damage
when you have him as a striker too.
Yeah, any of those Axemen basics that I list in this list, you just got to think about all that extra damage you're getting from all the triple taps that happen. It's quite nice.
Yes, it is.
All right, guys, so there is a comprehensive list of both of our underrated T4s from 10 to 1. I hope y'all enjoyed. I've been Waffle Dog.
And this is Wink.
All right, y'all have a good one. Peace out.
Thank you.